On this episode of New England Living,
that is beyond words.
If you use materials that people think of as very cold and industrial, oftentimes you can create very warm and sensual environments.
What are you going to do when all the spaces are completely filled?
Yeah, we'll have to get another house.
What a spot. Unreal. Welcome to New England Living. I'm Parker Kelly. And I am passionate about art, architecture, and design. I also love to travel, meet new people, and I'm definitely a foodie. Join me each week as I travel all over this beautiful region, showcasing the most spectacular homes and meeting the key players involved in creating them. To top it off, I'll cook up some delicious dish with a chef, and we'll finish it off with a celebration of it all. I'm Parker Kelly, and this is New England Living.
New England Living TV is brought to you by Clark, Sub-Zero Wolf & Cove, Kohler Signature Store by Supply New England, and Marvin Windows and Doors. And of course, please stop into the all-new Seven Tide in the Seaport District in Boston.
Today I'm on my way to the coastal village of Rowayton, Connecticut, in the city of Norwalk, about 40 miles from New York City. Rowayton is set on a 1.4 square mile peninsula and is extremely scenic. I'm on my way to meet homeowners Carol and Bruce Beinfield. Carol is an artist and Bruce is an architect. Bruce's firm, Beinfield Architecture, has won dozens and dozens of design awards, and Bruce was named to the New England Design Hall of Fame. The 3,500 square foot home, which is located on Farm Creek, a tidal estuary, is definitely one of a kind, deriving its design from the amusement park and trolleyway that was located there up until the 1938 hurricane in World War II. Back in the day, thousands of visitors steamed in by boat, then rode trolleys to the park. This history plays an important role in Bruce's design of the home. It is the first home he has ever designed for himself, and he considers it one of his favorite projects. We're going to meet the homeowners, take a tour of this unique home, and then Bruce and Carol are turning their state-of-the-art kitchen over to a chef and me, and we're going to put on a dinner party and celebrate New England Living in Rowayton, Connecticut. That is beyond words. Oh, there's barnwood. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. You must be Bruce.
Yes, Parker.
Nice to see you.
I'm Carol.
Hi, Carol. Nice to see you. Oh my goodness. The
Thank you.
spot is incredible.
This was an old trolleyway originally built in 1892 to get trolley service from the South Norwalk train station to an amusement park out on Long Island Sound a couple hundred yards from here. And with the design of this house, we tried to pick up on some of the history of the site.
What do their neighbors think? 'Cause, I mean, it's a little different.
Most of them are very appreciative of it. Because there hadn't been a structure here before and had been fairly natural, there were a lot of people that were concerned about their views being impacted.
Right. So you were respectful about
So
that.
So the front of the house facing the street's only 12.5 feet wide.
Yeah, I
and
know it's very narrow. So
So-
12.5 feet.
That way it gives them the opportunity to still look out over the tidal estuary. This first area that you're in is the entryway and the stairway. Because it's such a skinny house,
Yes.
we wanted to surprise them with the amount of drama it has and encourage people to really walk around and explore.
Okay, because that's exactly what I was feeling when I first walked in, because this isn't your traditional foyer. It's welcoming, and it makes me, I mean, just thirst for looking at every detail.
So this is the kitchen. In the kitchen we used unfinished copper as the countertops and natural brass
Beautiful.
as the faucets.
So this changes then. This isn't
Yeah,
going to stay
it's
exactly
always
the same patina.
it's always changing. Every time you put a glass down on it, it leaves a little imprint.
Very cool.
One of the interesting things that I've discovered in architecture is if you use materials that people think of as very cold and industrial, oftentimes you can create very warm and sensual environments.
And now tell me about this island here.
The base of the island is a French antique, and the top is a granite, so very durable.
And so that juxtaposition between that vintage, old world, and then new, and the textures of
we
wood
try and
and
get
metal.
a balance. The underlying architectural order is very strong here, knowing that the house was really designed for an artist who would bring her own level of chaos in. And it's the tension between the order and the chaos that's one of the areas that really makes the house dynamic.
This feels very comfortable.
This was all about comfort, actually. And this is a restoration hardware couch called the Cloud.
I was going to say.
You'll see why they call it that.
Oh, yeah.
Most people, once they get on the Cloud, have a hard time getting back up again. So here are the ideas for the entire house to really open up to the view beyond.
Like the stern of a boat.
What we did in terms of landscaping was install what's called a living shoreline. We added soil, then we plant native grasses. By doing a living shoreline, the shoreline has the ability to be resilient to major storms.
Plus it looks nice.
Yeah.
Now the whole trestle thing, is that a little touch of whimsy? Or is
It's whimsy, remembering the architecture of the amusement park and the trolleyway. It's also a source of wonder.
So in some way you're hoping that they wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Oh, and so you have a library ladder.
We've always thought that, books are a wonderful way of giving warmth to a space, and if you push that button there, that's the barn door in the front.
This has a nice view.
This is one of our guest bedrooms. This room we really wanted to take advantage of the view and keep it fairly simple.
And so you're a big fan of rock and roll then, is that what?
Well, yeah, this is a rock and roll installation that we put together. This is Jim Morrison. This is Jimi Hendrix. And this is me actually in 1955.
Oh, that's you. Okay, so you're stepping through the door with the doors.
This is the master, and we really wanted to open up to the view here.
And you did. But wow, so more outdoors inside. This is great. I want to do a speech from up here. Don't you feel like you just want to say something important?
Absolutely.
I love the organic pieces that you have interspersed.
There are collections everywhere.
It looks like you've lived here, honestly, 100 years. It's amazing. Hi.
Hello.
This is a nice perch.
This is my messy space.
Yes.
Quite lovely, actually.
Yes, exactly, right? Just filled. Because I think that's the way you like things.
I used to do illustration years ago, and now I work more with Bruce doing interior design, so now all my artwork is just for myself and for fun. And I like objects. I like pretty objects. So, as you can see, it's just sort of a hodgepodge of all my stuff.
Like if someone was to design an art studio to look like it's very well used and filled with inspiration, they would design it just like this.
Thank you, yes. Yeah, this is an old post office, there's a little seat that comes out.
Oh, isn't that cool?
And these little slots. I'm like water, I just fill everything.
And the whimsical touches.
I like things that are a little odd.
A little makes you go, what's that for, right?
It's like a big curiosity shop.
But perfect for an artist studio. You don't want anything too fussy. That's what I love about your home.
Absolutely. I grew up in old houses, so you can see I even though this is a very modern house, I still have to bring my old
the vintage pieces.
It, so
what are you going to do when all the spaces are completely filled?
Yeah, we'll have to get another house.
After the home tour, Bruce and I headed into the village of Rowayton to see some of his other projects, like the bank, hardware store, barbershop, and some award-winning residential works.
Left, it's a hotel built in the 1840s. Before we did the renovation, it was pretty frightening to go in there. It looks like something out of a horror movie.
I believe that.
So the building that has the hardware store and the barber shop and then the bank beyond that is all 10 years old. And we designed it just to really fit in and be very comfortable background buildings and helps to give Rowayton the very sort of relaxed village feel that it has. There's nothing particularly precious about it, but it's all sort of adds up to a sense of place.
Bruce was instrumental in getting Rowayton's downtown designated as a village district in order to preserve its character. You can see his architectural influence all over the village, also including the Rowayton Market, where we stopped in for a sandwich.
The idea here was to remind people that small towns still exist and that there's a certain charm, a New England charm.
The market, which has a beautiful dining deck on the 5 Mile River, is one of the oldest continually running markets in Connecticut, dating back to 1753.
It's a very old art. I'm not exactly sure how old.
Wow, the home looks incredible from up here.
Clark, New England's official Sub-Zero and Wolf showroom and test kitchen, offers 3 reasons to begin your project here. Explore the world's finest appliances. Then cook and taste Wolf's culinary perfection. Be inspired by innovative design. Do you crave extraordinary? Visit clarkliving.com to plan your visit.
Imagine a place where you can design the kitchen or bath of your dreams. No need to travel from store to store to find exactly what you want. One place where you can design and shop the full line of world-class Kohler fixtures, plus the top names in cabinetry, and hundreds of Kohler surface options, all with in-store design assistance. Visit the Kohler Signature Store today, the perfect place to create your ideal space.
Seamless indoor-outdoor living spaces are currently trending, and there's no better way to achieve this than through the use of glass elements in your design. Expansive windows and large walls of doors lead the sights, sounds, and feelings of an outdoor environment effortlessly through your space. The key is to allow as much natural light, airflow, and visual connection with the exterior as possible. Explore your options at marvin.com.
Kumar Marble and Granite offers an inventory of more than 7,000 slabs under one roof. Our selection is both exquisite and rare, sourced from countries all over the world. 7th generation stone artist Ivo Kubi leads a stellar team of artisans who take clients' wildest dreams and carve them into stone. Kumar is the go-to place for trade professionals and lovers of unique stones and complicated fabrication. Kumar has something to fit every style and price point, whether it be for inside or outside use. Book an appointment and check it out for yourself.
The morning of the party, I joined Carol up in her studio to see her creativity in action. She had recently started practicing the ancient art of marbling and was gracious enough to share her knowledge and give me a lesson.
6 or 7 months ago, I started to learn this process. And so I'm just playing around and experimenting, but it's a very old art. I'm not exactly sure how old, but they used to do it to line books.
I mean, the fact that it's a vintage process too really goes well.
Well, that's just it. I've always loved those papers, and I thought, how cool. And I read an article about a woman who was doing marbling, and I thought, what a neat thing to learn how to do.
So essentially, I'm looking ahead thinking we're going to put the paper on top.
Correct.
And sort of pull it
you
out.
lay it on top, and the paint sticks to the paper. And obviously you can see where it comes from, the name marbling. It looks like marble.
Oh, wow, look at that. That is so beautiful.
Let's see.
Can I try one?
Yes, sure.
Tighter or?
Yep, no, that's perfect. Take and comb across this way. Just lay it right on the surface. And then just lift it up. And there you are, voila.
Thank you. Because we still had some time before the dinner party, Bruce suggested we go for a boat ride. The tide and light were perfect, and it was great to see their incredible home from that perspective. Well, the home looks incredible from up here.
Thank you.
I love the way the grass undulates when it's windy like this too.
You know, and I like the way it takes on so many different colors and the different light.
Which is really nice and fitting, since I just did the marbling with Carol, that we're out here on the water and the grass looks like it's just been dipped in color. It just gets richer and richer, doesn't it?
This over here that we're coming to is a house that I designed.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love the windows on that. What a spot. Unreal.
People have that expression that says, if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. It applies, but it's very challenging in the restaurant business.
How do you want to live? As a decent person? A fine human being? A good friend? Is that it? Good? Of course not. Parent of the year? Better. Making her heart skip a beat. Thump. One of a kind. Undeniable. Like a boss. Like a standard bearer. Like a pro. We couldn't agree more. We are professional grade. GMC.
Hi, I'm Tim Leadham, owner of Bosun's Marine. At Bosun's Marine, we share your passion is more than just a tagline. For over 33 years, Bosun's Marine has been bringing you the finest power boats in the industry. We are committed to bringing you unparalleled service year-round, year after year. From offshore fishing and cruising yachts to small, family-oriented day boats, come visit us at one of our showrooms here in Mashpee on Cape Cod or at our new showroom in Peabody, just north of Boston. And be sure to check us out online at bosuns.com.
How do you define a legend? Start with rugged capability, strength, the confidence to take nature head on. Add experience, skill, mastery of the situation. At Boston Whaler, our legend thrives in boats designed to handle the roughest conditions. With cutting-edge features that satisfy the needs of serious anglers and performance that never falters. Boston Whaler, catch the legend.
Chef Rui Correa is here. Is this spectacular out here?
Amazing. Beautiful piece of land and a great space.
So I wanted to steal you away from the kitchen just for a minute so we could talk about your history as a chef.
I guess it all started for me as a young boy in Portugal. My grandparents had a very small bistro-like restaurant in the city of Porto. My grandmother, as far as back as I can remember, would just stick things in my mouth, taste this, taste that, and that became my passion for food and flavor.
Oh, she was developing your palate right then.
She was developing my palate. And then I learned the passion of them working together. They worked together for 40 years. It was humbling to see how hard they worked, and the reward was basically very minimal compared to what chefs do today, but they loved what they did, and I kind of feel the same way today.
The restaurant business is tough.
People have that expression that says, if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. It applies, but it's very challenging in the restaurant business because you're basically working at your hardest when everybody else is enjoying life. For me, it all came full circle when I was about 18 years old. I worked in a restaurant in Bronxville, New York, with a chef that, for the time, was very avant-garde. He started to do like plating that was kind of like a little different, using the ingredients I had never seen, and he would always, almost like my grandmother, he would just constantly taste this, what do you think of that? I was a server in the front of the house, and he said to me, what are you doing in the front of the house? You belong in the back of the house.
Nice. No one said that to me as I was a server all the way through,
really?
high school, college, growing up in a resort community for me. No one ever said, you really belong in the back of the house.
No, he called it out, and he said, why don't you go to culinary school or go get trained?
Yeah.
It brought me full circle to my grandmother's kitchen, right? So that my grandfather was in front of the house, but I always enjoyed being in the kitchen with my grandmother. So when he said that to me, it stuck with me for another year and a half, and eventually it got me to go to culinary school.
And so in culinary school, did they teach Portuguese cooking?
No.
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 Portuguese is not, was not, it's becoming, it was not a mainstream cuisine. And when it was time for me to open my own place after having put in some time in restaurants, I thought it was just the responsible thing to do, to go back to my roots.
You do have the American part where you've been here, but you have those roots, so you're a great translator for America at large.
I've been called an ambassador.
An ambassador, right. I believe it.
So the area I'm from is Porto, which is the northern second largest city of Portugal. What most people don't know about Porto is that it has beautiful, beautiful fish and seafood off the coast. What I felt was unique was that we have a very rich profile of spices and influences, because the Portuguese were the navigators of the world, right?
Right, the trade routes.
Trade routes. Last year in 2016, Portugal was awarded more Michelin stars than any other country in the world, where 10 years ago there wasn't a Michelin star in Portugal.
You're kidding. And so talking about Douro, can we talk about your restaurant now?
Sure. So Douro opened 9 years ago in Greenwich. The local fresh ingredients, seasonal stuff, varietal of different ingredients that gives people more choices. So the restaurant has a nice buzz, it has a good feel.
Yeah, a privilege really for me.
Yes.
With Chef Rui Carrera. Really, thank you.
Thank you.
It's like the marbling this morning, I'm telling you.
Everything's about visual.
It's so beautiful.
And a little seesaw.
Are you one of those chefs who like yells at everybody in the kitchen?
Only if I need to.
All right.
Innovation, technology, design. It is why the Seaport District is the fastest growing area in Boston. It's also the reason we selected the Innovation District as the home of Seven Tide. If you're looking for a one-of-a-kind experience filled with design inspiration, a place where you can explore, see your ideas come to life, this is the place. Think of Seven Tide as a design adventure for your home, featuring the most trusted top-tier brands in their industries. For homeowners and designers alike, it's a unique approach to home design. You can visit Clark's newest Sub-Zero and Wolf showroom and test kitchen, giving you hands-on access to the world's finest appliances, or take in the country's first experience center for Marvin Windows and Doors. Our goal is to provide inspiration in an exceptional space that offers a relaxed and very personal experience. If you like what you see, we'll refer you to an authorized dealer. But while you're at Seven Tide, there's no pressure. Even the parking is complimentary. We want to cultivate an atmosphere that's free from anxiety so you can focus on what's right for the design of your home. New England has some of the finest designers in the country, and here you'll see an exciting array of their work in full-scale kitchens. You'll be able to see, touch, and even taste your kitchen design. Both inside and out, Seven Tide offers the perfect setting to bring your ideas to life. We want you to rethink what's possible. Adjacent to Clark, you'll find Marvin Windows and Doors. They offer a high-tech, high-touch experience that invites you to reset your expectations for what a home can be. After visiting Marvin, you'll never think about windows and doors the same way again. Whether you're a homeowner or a designer, building a new custom home or remodeling, we invite you to come experience the possibilities. Come be inspired, be informed, and ultimately be at home at Seven Tide.
For more information for your home inspiration, visit seventide.com. Yours by design.
As people started to arrive, it was finally time to get in the kitchen with Chef Rui and start cooking. Rui!
Hey.
Out of the sun, into the kitchen.
Awesome.
All right, so tell us where we're going to start.
And this is called a caldo verde, which means a green soup. It's basically potato that had been boiled down in a little bit of a vegetable stock. So this is a little bit of a collard green pesto that you serve in the soup.
And now, is that a surprise on the bottom, or is
So that's what I like. That's the play on the soup. The soup comes out to you white. You tell guests that they should stir the soup, and the soup turns green on you. And it makes a little bit of fun play while you eat.
It's kind of like the yogurt with the fruit on the bottom.
There you go. And then it's infused with a little bit of pork sausage, chorizo. So the soup that we're going to serve for the first course is called caldo verde, potato, collard green, and chorizo soup.
The crowd's behind us. They're just about to sit down. We're going to plate or bowl, shall we? The very first one.
So here we have the potato puree. The key is to go in nice and slow.
Okay, so if this one doesn't come out accurately, this could be mine.
Full ladle, full ladle, full ladle. Good. Now we're just going to take a little bit of olive oil
grew up in the woods.
Oh, I love that. That's just like the marbling this morning, I'm telling you.
Everything's about visual.
It's so beautiful.
And a little sea salt. Doesn't that just smell fantastic?
Oh, gosh.
And you know what? It's actually gotten a little bit dark now out and a little cooler, so it's perfect for some nice soup.
Right now, right, outside.
Then next course, we're gonna go on to the octopus. So what I like to do to the octopus is I take a large octopus, like a 6 to 8 pound octopus. So what I do is I cook it down for about an hour and a half in low boiling water. To cook the octopus down till it's nice and tender, cut it up into pieces, and we're gonna serve it today with a little bit of squid ink. Batata murro, which is a potato that's been punched when it's cooking so that it releases the steam, and then quickly flash fried. House-made vinegar peppers, and a little bit of really great Portuguese olive oil. So squid ink on its own is fairly salty and pungent and a little bit aggressive. So what I do is I take some onions, caramelize them down, put it in a food processor or a blender, puree it, and you get this really beautiful
That's cool. I want to
squid
taste.
ink.
I want to taste. Can I taste or no smell? Carol would like this too for art.
Yes.
You know, that'd be really cool.
You can
What
paint
do
the
you think,
squid
Carol?
ink.
Yes?
So we're gonna have a little bit of fun and paint the plates. I'm gonna have you follow.
You do the first one and I'll
So I'm
follow
gonna do
you.
the first one here. Just be careful not to put too much.
That's what I was thinking.
Start here and just lightly, don't press too hard down. Meet back half the other way.
Are you one of those chefs who like yells at everybody in the kitchen?
Only if I need to.
All right. I just want to be prepared. Oh gosh, that's so gorgeous. Look at that.
Okay, so now we're gonna apply the octopus. Perfectly cooked, super tender. So for the last course, cod. Now Portuguese use a lot of salt-cured cod. I try to work a little bit more fresh cod. It's a little more approachable to the American palate. So what we do is we take beautiful fresh cod.
That's what you have here.
Yep, and we're gonna bake it in the oven. A little parsley, a little bit of sea salt. Then we're gonna serve it over some cool chickpea puree. I like the rough texture of it against the flaky of the fish. It's kind of like, it feels like it's something meaty, right? But you're eating healthy, you're eating light. It's stuff that your body can process fast. And
Love it. Love it. Delicious.
And then we're gonna saute really quickly some of this chiffonade of the collard greens. And we're gonna serve this on top of the fish.
Complete and total artistry. An artist, the homeowner. An architect, the homeowner. The chef, Rui. Complete artistry. Beautiful taste. Beautiful home. Chin chin. Until next week, I'm Parker Kelly. That's New England Living in Rowayton.